Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to a detailed breakdown on the current yen pairs. I've been asked about what my current view on a lot of these yen pairs, and I want to go through every single one of them in a more detailed manner to give you guys a more of a breakdown on them. Currently, I'm going to be bearish on all the yen pairs, meaning the yen pairs are going to get strength. So let's take a look at from a price action point of view. So this is the current price action here. We're going to start with pound yen here. I like how we have this kind of a higher time frame ascending channel. We are seeing a bigger correction now because we're getting a few swing highs and few swing lows. That's going to give us confluence to be looking for a potential reversal. And if you can see the price here, we have a kind of a double top here and more like a small lower time frame ascending channel correcting the price up. And pretty much I will be looking for some sort of lower time frame continuation. We can see that price has already break down here, so I will be looking for some sort of lower time frame correction, either a flag or head and shoulder, something that to give me the last confluence to be looking for a potential sell opportunities and looking for the price to drop down to the low of this correction here. And if we can get price impulsively break down past through it, then certainly more scale in, more selling opportunity is very likely, and we can able to capture this potential reversal run. If you see on the higher time frame here, this is also a previous high, so this can be a double top here. If this kind of a higher time frame ascending channel is going to finish correcting, and we get that reversal down from the price. Second, I want to talk about Euro Yen. I think Euro Yen is also looking really good. If we zoom out here on the higher time frame, we can see that this is also a previous high here. So price is stalling in this area. So this certainly can be a double top that price is currently reacting to. And you can clearly see this really strong, really steep kind of ascending channel correctively pushing the price out. And the key here is how the price will react at the top of the overall structure. Remember, if we're looking for a sell bias, we want to look for strong reversals, right? And getting in at the top of the overall price action is going to give you or maximize your potential risk reward in this case. So we have that ascending channel pushing the price up. We have that double top here on the higher time frame and a rising wedge slash kind of ascending channel, a combination of these really, but it's a reversal structure that we're familiar with. So price is breaking down now, which is good. So again, look for some sort of lower time frame continuation depending on how the correction will form. I think that's going to be the last confluence that I will be looking for a potential sell opportunity first to the low of this higher time frame kind of ascending channel and expecting the price to break out and then further correction down to adding for a scaling entry. So remember, all these yen pairs are likely going to move the same. So it's best not to enter all of them. It's best to choose and filter out the best scenarios, the best risk reward, or whatever that fits your plan, and potentially enter one or two yen pairs that to your liking. Swiss yen here, similar idea. We have this kind of a higher time frame ascending channel correcting the price up. We're pushing up to the top of the structure. The price doesn't necessarily have to hit the top because we are already getting a completion of a correction here. So how the price gets to the top, we move up and we form this kind of a rising wedge, very similar like Euro Yen's price action. And again, we are seeing this price breaking down. So we're not going to jump in here. We want to wait for some sort of correction here, right? At least forming a head and shoulder as well, at least forming some sort of bearish flag. Whatever it's going to form, it's going to give us that last bit of confirmation to be looking for a sell down. And again, because it's very similar like Euro Yen, same approach, right? We're going to see the price, how is it going to react hitting the bottom of this higher time frame structure and potentially breakout and then continuation down to the lower end. So that's Swiss yen, very similar like Euro yen. Again, you're not likely to choose to enter both Euro yen or Swiss yen. It's best to just enter one of them. Let's look at CAD yen here because CAD yen was a trade I updated everyone in my midweek market update. Actually resulted for just a really quick break even. Um, this is a break-even trade I enter here, and then price push down, and then just have a really sharp reversal. So I open with the break-evens, exit the position first, but I'm still liking the overall price action from a higher time frame perspective. So if we look at the higher time frame here, this is a descending channel. We have a really bullish push to the upside, but after this expanding structure, when price pushes up, it's not as impulsive as what we usually see, because this is the previous high that the price is currently reacting to. So we could be forming a double top here. We're going to see on a lower time frame what it is going to give it to us. So expanding structure, we pushed out, but this move is rather corrective. It's not a impulsive move that we're usually going to see from the price, especially after completing a continuation correction in this case. So to me, I will be looking for price breaking down, because this ascending channel looks like we already have that first breakdown for the price. So look for some sort of lower time frame development, just like every other yen pairs. Look for a confirmation here, either to sell down to the previous low of this ascending channel, or if price breaks below, looking further downside to the bottom of here, because what we can get from the price is easily going to get a larger head and shoulder pattern. So this bearish move down, if we pass this low and then we hit this bottom, do expect price to kind of pull back. We're forming a bigger right shoulder, something like this, to complete a head and shoulder pattern and then continuation to the downside. But first thing first is obviously forming a bigger correction here. Watch for the price in this area and this area as well. So let's go into a couple other pairs, Aussie yen and Kiwi yen. I think they do need a little bit more development. Look at Aussie yen here. We did have a very strong push down for the price. We look at here that similar structure. We're going to have a double top here. We have a strong impulsive move to the downside, and then kind of a ascending channel correction or horizontal channel correction when we push back to the top here for that double top, and a very strong push to the downside. So very good impulsive move pushing the downside, and there is kind of a middle continuation correction. The only reason why this is not my top yen pair is because we're still in this higher time frame correction. The ideal case is for price to push out and then form a correction here and then push down. But in this case, the other yen pairs would likely to already move, so it's not my favorite yen pair, but I definitely still see the downside potential. Let's take a look at Kiwi yen here. So Kiwi yen, again, very similar price action like Aussie yen, similar double top here, similar impulsive move followed by this ascending channel pushing the price back to this double top here. And if we look closely here, I was looking at this pair to see if we're actually going to get a breakout, right? The breakout is going to confirm this overall correction is over for the downside. And if we look closely here, it was trying to break out here. It failed to do that. It pushes up. But what it does is forming a head and shoulder pattern. And now we're actually breaking out now. So that's a very good sign from the market that we can potentially get more bearish opportunity or bearish confirmation. So similar approach, let's wait for that lower time frame continuation. We know how the nature of the market works. We cannot drop in a free fall like this. So expect some sort of corrective price action here. That's going to give you a little bit better confluence to look for a sell. Look for the sell down to the previous, so I think that's very valid as well. Last yen pair I want to go over is dollar yen. I think dollar yen is a little bit unique one because even though I am bearish on all the yen pairs, but because dollar yen is paired with dollar and I do have a bias with dollar getting strength, it's likely to be consolidating here a little bit longer. That's kind of why I leave this till last. I think there's better yen pairs to be looking for a sell opportunity. Overall dollar yen here, if we notice from the bottom here, price has already pushed up to the top of the overall price action. And I mentioned about this area here is that if price failed to create any type of continuation to go higher, expect this bearish move down, which is kind of what we're getting here. And you can clearly tell that there is something developing here. It's almost a slanted kind of head and shoulder pattern. And this right shoulder is kind of bigger than the left shoulder, but market is not perfect, right? We're identifying kind of similar price action. We know that this likely could be a continuation pattern for this bearish move down. So I will be keeping an eye on this. I want to see what we will do here. This looks like we could potentially have another push up to the top here, just to see it reverse, just to see it break out of this right shoulder potentially, and then lower time frame correction to push down to the low. And if it breaks below, then certainly going to push out to way back to the bottom here. Okay, so these are the yen pairs that we have today, and I do think there's a lot of opportunity for them in the in the next few days or even into next week. Again, my favorite one is going to be these combination of these. I think CAD yen has a lot of potential for this downside. Even if it breaks below, then certainly another move to the downside is certainly possible. Swiss yen also looking really clean. This higher time frame ascending channel and this lower time frame kind of rising wedge multi-time frame analysis. Pound yen is also looking really good. I like how there is a potential completion of this higher time frame channel as well. We're moving up correctively. We can certainly see a downside move and then continuation to the low. And Euro Yen is certainly one of my top one as well. I like that higher time frame double top. I like the ascending channel. Basically looking for a continuation from the top here and getting in at the top of the overall price action is going to give you the best risk reward. So any question, comment, or feedback, welcome to let me know below, and I will talk to you guys all next time. Thank you very much.